Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on the Spanish tragedy, and we get to hear from the King of Spain today in what some versions call Act 1, Scene 5. Other versions call this a continuation of Act 1, Scene 4, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. Anyway, if we're pretending that this is Act 1, Scene 4, earlier in this scene, we had Bella Imperia talking to Horatio about how Don Andrea died, and then she decides that she is going to love Horatio to spite Balthazar, who has come to woo her. So she's very mean, but then she drops a glove that Horatio picks up. She's like, oh, keep it for your favor, which was very serious flirting for back in the day. And Balthazar is a little bit upset by this because he likes her and wants her. Lorenzo's like, leave it to me, I'll take care of it. But then Horatio was coming back in to let them know that dinner is about to be served because the king is coming over, the prince is coming over, there's a Portuguese ambassador there. So some versions take that as the scene break and put the banquet, when everybody comes in to have this banquet, they put that as Act 1, Scene 5, which is why I'm referring to this monologue today as coming from Act 1, Scene 5. Others just sort of go right through. But anyway, all these various people come through, and the Portuguese ambassador is sort of making noises like, the viceroy of Portugal is upset because he thinks that Balthazar is dead. And Balthazar comes out and he's like, no, I'm not. I'm actually being well taken care of in this house, and like, check this out, they're feeding me, all this sort of stuff. And the Portuguese ambassador and Balthazar start going back and forth a little bit, talking about Balthazar's well-being. And the King of Spain says, put off your greetings till our feast be done. No, come and sit with us and taste our cheer. Sit down, young prince. You are our second guest. Brother, sit down, and nephew, take your place. Signor Horatio, wait thou upon our cup, for well them hast deserved to be honored. Now, lordings, fall to. Spain is Portugal, and Portugal is Spain. We both are friends. Tribute is paid, and we enjoy our right. But where is old Hieronymo, our marshal? He promised us, in honor of our guest, to grace our banquet with some pompous jest. And then Hieronymo comes in. There's a little bit of a dumb show. Hieronymo, this mask contents mine eye, although I sound not well the mystery. So it's not a very exciting monologue necessarily. He's saying, okay, everybody sit down and let's have a feast. And as we're having this feast, let's just say, the war is over. Tribute has been paid. Spain and Portugal can be friends now. And then he's like, Hieronymo was supposed to bring in some entertainment. So Hieronymo brings in some entertainment in the form of a kind of dumb show. He's got a drum, and these three knights come in, and they each have like a shield with an emblem on it. And then he gets these three kings, and the knights take the kings' crowns and hold the kings captive. So the last couple of lines, he's like, this is a nice dumb show, but I'm not quite sure what it's about. So Hieronymo explains that each of these three kings was someone who was an Englishman, essentially, who invaded either Spain or Portugal. So these are lessons for like why Spain and Portugal shouldn't get so upset with each other. They've both been conquered by England. They both know what it's like to be conquered. Like, there's sort of bringing that there's more similarities between the two countries than there are differences, so they can all get along and be friends. And both the king and the Portuguese ambassador enjoy the show, and they're like, oh, that's great, that's lovely. And that's sort of, if you're looking at it as Act 1, Scene 4, that's the end of the scene. The banquet ends, there's been entertainment, everybody's get along just fine. In the versions that then have an Act 1, Scene 5 as a separate thing, it's a very short interaction between Don Andrea and the personification of revenge, which, if the banquet is Act 1, Scene 5, this interaction is just sort of tacked on the end there. But in that interaction, Don Andrea is like, seriously? I was sent back to look at this? They're being nice to each other and having dinner and watching a play? Like, what? That's the guy that killed me, and I'm back here to watch this? And Revenge is like, oh, honey, just wait. Which is a good note to end on because, oh honey, just wait. We still have 3 more acts to go. And yes, I did say 3 acts. This is a 4-act play, not a 5-act play. But anyway, there's still plenty of it left to go. And we'll get into the revenge. We'll get into all the fun stuff. So keep on coming back tomorrow for more. And we'll see just how wrong things can go. I'll see you tomorrow. Mwah.